Talked about in the classroom what a fixture offset was. It's the distance from machine home to where we want our part program 0 to be. We're basically telling the machine where our part is and where we want our program to run. Everybody cool with that? I'm going to use an edge finder to do it today. I could be using a half round, I could use an end mill. I'm good enough I could use a center drill and just eyeball it sometimes. Okay? We're going to do it accurately, and we're going to do it with an edge finder today. So what I'm going to do is I've got the edge finder installed into the spindle. I'm going to, for practical purposes, so everybody can kind of see what I'm doing, I'm going to pick on the front left corner instead of the back left corner, just because it's easier for everybody to see. And it tells you I can put it anywhere I want it, right? If we look at our position screen, you're going to find a machine position. The machine is at 0. It's currently at machine home, set by the factory. It's at its far positive direction in X, far positive direction in Y, all the way plus in Z. So I know without a doubt my offsets are going to be in the negative direction. It can't move any farther positive, right? Mm-hmm. If I see a positive fixture offset, there's a pretty good chance I have a problem, isn't there? Mm-hmm. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to hand jog my machine over close to where I'm going to want it to be. I'm going to put my edge finder in the machine, MDI T10 ATT forward. I'm going to turn my edge finder on. What kind of RPMs do you guys like to run with your edge finder?
I do about 900.
What do you do?
800.
1,000? All right, let's do 1,000. I got more thousands than I got anything else, okay? So I'm going to run my edge finder at 1,000 RPMs. Guess what code tells the machine that I want 1,000 RPMs? S. And what do I put with the S? 1,000. So I'm going to tell the machine S 1,000. That tells it how fast to run. Now I need to tell the machine on clockwise or counterclockwise. Say again. M3. M08 is going to make me messy. Yeah, M8 is flood cooling on. Don't even try that. That ain't funny. So I'm going to turn the spindle on in the clockwise direction by adding an M3 to my line of code.
M3 is clockwise?
Clockwise. End of block insert, you'll see it up here, and when I hit cycle start, it's on and it's running 1,000 RPMs. Cool? Yeah, nice and quiet. Isn't that cool how this works? If you run 1,000 RPM down there, it'd sound like a... Yeah. I personally like to start with my edge finder off, so that when I get close, I can see it when I'm getting close, because it's getting more and more concentric to the spindle line, right? So I am going to move down in Z. Everybody, I'm going to pretend like everybody has used an edge finder. And everybody knows to pick up this X side, I simply need to move over slowly. Everybody see that thing start to get a little bit more concentric? Not running out as bad. I'm going to slow down to 1,000ths per click of my resolver. Woo! Tell me when it clicks. I believe it just kicked.
Yeah, I can't tell from this angle.
Yeah, I got it. It just kicked over, all right? So what does that, everybody knows what that means. I found it, right? And I'm right there. So,
Sorry.
I can look at my machine position and I can see that I'm at X minus 12 inches, 805 thousandths. I could write that number down and type it into my storage location, right?
Yeah.
Or I can just go offsets. Are you videoing up my nose? Have I got any nose hairs?
No, I'm good.
Any boogers?
It doesn't have that good a
Everything
detail.
okay?
You're good.
Okay,
I'll edit all this out later.
I had salad for lunch today. So in my offset page here I have a G54 through 59 as well as a 52. I'm going to clear all of these out by hitting origin. Yes. I just wiped out somebody's offsets. I really don't. I'm not a nice guy. Y'all know that. I took out all their offsets because this is my setup. I don't want to work with anybody else's crap. I want to know every number that's in this machine, and I want to set them. I hit offset again, it shows me my tool geometry offsets, diameter offsets, wear offsets. Those are real important to somebody, not me.
Why'd you push something Y?
I hit origin, yes. When I hit origin, it comes up and says, zero all, yes or no, and I say, yes. And all of those offsets go away. Offset toggles between work offset and tool offset. I'm setting which offset?
Fixture.
Work offset or fixture offset. I'm setting my G54X. Everybody understand that I'm setting X-axis right now? I simply come over here and say part 0 set, and it takes that 12 inches, 805 thousandths X negative that I saw a while ago, and it automatically, I made that word up, part 0 set, it puts it in there for me.
Oh.
Part 0 set, it's right underneath the F4 button. So I don't have to remember it, write it down, type it out, risk transposing numbers and all that other stuff. I can just hit part 0 set, it takes the value that I need and puts it where I need it. That's pretty simple, right? But, what's the problem?
The radius of the edge finder.
I'm 100 thousandths off, am I not? And I'm 100 thousandths off in a specific direction. I need to be 100 thousandths, let me turn around like this, positive from where I'm at, correct?
Correct.
So, I can come right back over here and say, move 0.1, right enter, I'm going to adjust that by 100 thousandths in the positive direction. What's that going to make it?
Snap the end off, isn't it?
Say again?
If you send it that way right now, it's going to snap the end off, isn't it?
I'm not going to send it, I'm just going to adjust the number.
To adjust it to 12.7.
12.705. 12.705 because I'm less negative from home. So I'm going to tell it 100 thousandths, right enter. I changed this value. I didn't tell the machine to move. I didn't tell the machine to go anywhere. I just adjusted how far away from home I want my 0. If I look at my current position, it still thinks I'm at an X of 0. As soon as I move it, and instigate that offset, it will know better. I'm going to raise up. Where does my now work offset think I am? Thinks I'm minus 100 thousandths, which is exactly where I am. Correct? Now I'm going to set Y. Everybody ready to set Y?
Y.
Edge finder. Everybody knows how to use one. Yes, if I run it down into that, I'm going to break things. I'm going to choose not to. Slow it down. Watch for the kick. Oh, everybody see it? I'm within 1,000 because I know when I move this one click at a time, I'm moving 1,000ths at a time. So here I wasn't against it. Here I am against it. I'm within a thousandths, okay? At that point, offset, work offset Y, part 0 set. I need to go positive 100 thousandths, don't I? I simply tell it 0.1, right enter. I adjusted it.
It's a -1.
Good.
Or, so when you go back to your work offset,
Yeah, let me put it back where
where
it was.
does the -1 show
It doesn't show up. I know that I'm 100 off because of the half the diameter
Right.
edge finder.
up? So when you input that in, I thought you said you went to another screen and it said,
Nope, right here. Right here, it says that I'm I'm minus 9.498. If I go positive 100 thousandths from this location, where am I? I'm going to be at 9.398. Less negative.
oh, 100,000.
100,000.
Oh, I thought you said
Now, half the diameter of my edge finder.
Moving it positive would be moving it that way, right?
Yes.
And so.
Tool that way.
Oh, the tool. Okay.
Tool that way.
Okay. I understand.
When we start talking positive and negative, I'm going to do this. Is everybody's an adult here, right?
That's right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Right.
This is our right-hand rule. When I am standing at the operator's location, when I'm looking at the machine, and I do the right-hand rule, guys, this is all of my axes positive direction. This is X positive, Y positive, and Z positive.
I was looking at it like the your
Table was moving.
Yeah.
Don't.
I was.
You couldn't do it.
That's putting the center of your part
Yes.
where you're directing it for the center of the part.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually
You're not
directing from
offsetting
bottom
to the
left.
edge, yeah.
Bottom left corner
Right.
is what I'm picking up. So the center of my palm is the bottom left corner of that part. That part is laying right here.
So is the table moving or the machine?
It doesn't matter
It doesn't matter.
because we always view movement as if the tool were moving.
Okay.
Doesn't matter what's moving. When we start programming and we start moving a machine around, I don't care what function is actually moving. I want you to think I'm moving the tool.
Okay.
And that's always going to work for you. Because machine manufacturers, they do all kinds of weird, funky things. This doesn't change.
Okay.
So if you always view movement as if the tool were moving, you'll get along with any machine. Cool?
Cool.
So I need to put that 100 thousandths back in here. 0.1, right enter. Got it changed to minus 9.398. I'm now going to raise this up. Stop. I didn't look.
I think if you move it up.
What does Z work? I hit Z.
There we go.
You only made a small mark.
Not hit it well. So we raise it up, we stop our spindle, and check this out. I'm going to go to MDI, and I'm going to tell my machine to move somewhere. I'm going to tell it to move somewhere. But when I tell it to move somewhere, I'm going to activate the fixture offset that we just set, the G54. So I'm going to tell it, let's think about this block. This block is about 4x4, okay? It's actually sawed really crooked, but it's about 4x4. I want to send my tool to the center of the block. Where would that be in X and Y? Who knows this? Say it again.
2 and 2.
X plus 2,
Yeah.
Y plus 2, right? From the bottom left corner. So I tell it G54, X 2.0, Y, I might find Y, Y 2.0, end of block insert. See the line of code? When I hit cycle start, it should be relatively close to the center of the part. Because I told it it's a 4x4 block, so the center would be 2 and 2.
Yeah. So from our, so You're calling this a fixture offset,
Yes.
not a work offset?
It's both.
Okay,
What did I
because,
say?
well, you've been going
If
back
you
and
get
forth
to
on
100
both.
different people, you'll
Okay.
get 100 different names for it.
Okay, I'm gonna call it
Work offset, fixture
Okay.
offset, program offset, floating zero, floating home, name it anything you want. And yeah, I tend to flip around a little bit,
Yeah, that's-
so it's fine to call me on it. It's a work offset or a fixture offset. What happens, where's this machine going to move if I simply tell it now, X, 0, Y, 0, end of block, insert.
It's gonna go the active.
No, I corrected the 100,000.
The original.
It's gonna go to the home.
Huh, is it?
No, I was gonna go to
R0.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Because
okay.
that's where we've told it that 0 is.
I activated the G54 offset, and because it is a modal command, it stays in effect until it's canceled or overridden.
Oh,
Now,
Okay.
I don't,
I thought you had.
So until I cancel that G54, it's active.
now, as far as the G54, I know that like G54 through 59 is kind of one.
Yeah.
If you just picked G57, would we be accomplishing the same thing, or would it have
Yes.
to be a different part of the
No,
part?
no, it could be
Okay, so that's just the offset.
just
you
a
chose,
storage
G54.
location that I
Okay.
chose, yes. Right now, if I look at my offset screen, G57 has no offset, does it? So if I send it to X0, Y0 with G57 active, where would it go?
It's home.
Machine home, far right corner, right? But right now, I'm going to send it to X0, Y0. Let me go to current commands. Look what's active. These are all my active G and M codes. One of these is going to be, see that one right there? G54. Can I have a 54 and a 55 active at the same time?
Yes.
I cannot.
No, you cannot.
I can only have one fixture offset active at a time. You don't see any other fixture offsets that are active. If I go in here in MDI and I tell it, and I tell it G57, end of block, insert, cycle start, then I go back and I look at my current commands, G54 is gone. It just got overridden by a G57.
Now, when you say active, you mean running through the program at that time?
Yes.
Because you can use two.
You can use
Right,
two,
okay.
but not at the same time.
Right. It can't do two.
The minute I activate a second one, the first one becomes null and void.
And you, but you can, yeah, you can have them stored and then just pull them from
Yes,
storage.
absolutely.
Let's say you
I can
got
have 200
two parts.
of them stored.
Let's say you got two parts and you got both glasses in there and two different parts set up. You can have 54 for this 0, 55 for that 0.
Absolutely.
And you
Once
don't.
it finishes the 54 part, it goes to 55.
In your program, you have to tell it,
Yeah.
G55, go run this part.
Because it's.
Get
the-
this.
Go ahead.
Get this. I could run the same program, one on the left side and one on the right side, and I can tell it, G54, run the program. It's going to run it over here. I tell it, G55, run the program again. It's going to run it over here. Because I set a G54 up over here as 0, and a G55 up over here as 0. So I could have the same identical program, with the only difference being this one has a G54, this one has a G55.
And you can run the
Or you
program
can
some back to
flip
back.
Back to back.
the part. You can flip the part, right?
I could flip the
That's what
part
we do at
over, I
work.
would need a new fixture
Right.
offset.
G54 is this, and then we flip it, and that's.
And we'll talk in depth
Right,
about
yeah.
some things that we're going to do. When we flip a part over, we got to locate on something we machined in the first operation. But we've got to align the second operation to the first operation. So we have to get to a
Unless you have a
point.
jig.
We're at
unless we have a
break,
jig.
by the
We're
way.
still locating at a second operation.
We're at break.
Okay. It doesn't bother me any.
I know. So you know, you told us to let you know.
So I come over here.
Oh shit, I'm about to run out of time.
I'm going to send it to X,